Hi, I'm John Cannon from NJ Sound LLC, njsound.com. Please subscribe and like this video. We're going to be discussing what we were doing today at NJ Sound with the interns, Charlie Westlake, Damian Vasquez, and Destiny. So we've actually hooked up all the microphones on the drum set. We have snare top. We only have 8 channels today. We're only testing with 8 channels. We're not doing the 18 channels that I talked about in the last video. We're doing only 8 channels. So we have snare top, snare bottom, kick in, kick out, overhead left, overhead right, one room mic, and one talkback mic. So we mapped all the kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, overhead left, right, room microphone to the patch bay, the mic input ports on the wall. So it's nothing, no snakes on the floor. Everything's in the wall at NJ Sound. There's no need for snakes on the floor, anything like that. You can see there are a lot more inputs. That's what we did with previous sessions where we had 18 inputs for the drums. And we mapped the snare top and snare bottom to the API 512Cs and the kick out to the Vintech VA 573 preamps, and the overhead left and right to the Neve 511s with silk, which is great for cymbals. It makes the cymbal sound fantastic. And the talkback mic is the Chandler Little Devil. Okay, so you can see here, this is Pro Tools. We mapped all the patches that we did on the patch bay to the various preamps. So the kick in, labeled all the channels, of course. Kick in is mapped to input 24. That's for the headphones, the output 21. The input 24, kick out is input 23. Snare top is input 17, snare bottom is input 18, overhead left is input 19, overhead right is input 20, room microphone is 22. Normally I'll have 2 room microphones and a low microphone, so it's actually 3 microphones, but we're only using the 8 preamps. We're not using the AMIC big 144 custom channel mixing board. We're just doing the Lunchbox, which has all the API 500 modules, series modules in there. So you can see the mappings here, the inputs and then the outputs. I just assigned them all to one output. I could actually assign the kicks to one output, snare to another output, and the overhead left and right to 2 outputs, and the room to another one, and the talkback, but I just kept it simple. There are no inserts here. You can see here we could put plugins, we could put an EQ. We have a tremendous library of waves and other plugins to use. We have compressors, and we'll discuss that in future videos. The Orion 32 Plus control panel, I'm on the routing page. You can see here input line in 25 is going to AFX in. If I go to AFX out, number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You can see it's going to USB record 9 through 16. And also to mix channel 1 and 2, 9 through 16. So with the effects, I have to use 9 through 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can add a gate to get the bleed from the different instruments, the snare top and snare bottom, well, not the snare top and snare bottom, the kick and the snare, and the overheads, and blah, blah, blah. So that's the gate, and then I'll add an EQ. You can add EQs before compressors or compressors before EQs, but on all the old vintage 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s mixing boards, this is a 1991 mixing board that we have here at NJ Sound. The EQ is before the compressor. This one doesn't have a built-in compressor, it just has EQ. But the boards that had built-in EQs and compressors, they put the EQ first and then the compressor. The more advanced ones, you could switch that sequence. But I'm just going to put the EQ like they did in the past. I'm going to choose the SSL pink just as a random one. And you can see here on these effects, the SSL, it says pink, orange, black, brown. I said I didn't know what that was. There's pink noise, there's orange noise, there's black noise, and there's brown noise. And you can see it says 4K. So it's at the 4K frequency. They're using different noise like white noise, as a
certain sound, certain timbre, certain feel. So these will be different feels for the EQ, and that's why you would choose different ones. Then I'll just choose a compressor. I'm going to choose a nice tube compressor, which is from the UK. And we're going to try to see if we can record this into Pro Tools, as I discussed in the previous video. And again, if you find this useful, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below as to what you want to have talked about in the future. So right here I'm just adding to the different channels 9, 10, 11, 9 through 16, a gate, an EQ. I'm choosing different flavors of the SSL and different compressors, like the compressor, which is the distressor that we all know and love, the nuke setting, which makes the drum sound phenomenal. And I'll just keep on going and put random things. I'll just put the standard gate in the beginning, different EQs, so that was brown, choose a compressor, I'll add a lovely distressor. And again, you can have 16 effects, so you can have 16 distressors. Not many places have 16 distressors, they only have a stereo pair. So you can have 8 inserts per channel, and there's 0 latency again. These are FPGA effects built into the unit, and of course there's reverb as well. So I'm just going to continue on to 16 doing random ones, and we're going to hear the difference between the different EQs and compressors and so forth. Okay, so we routed the effects. Let me just show you what I did with the routing so you can pay attention if you have an Orion 32 HD or Orion 32 Plus. So here we have inputs 25 through 32 going to the preamps. And you can see here input 25 goes to AFX in, input 26, AFX in 26. This is actually 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then the AFX out here, 9, goes to the mixing board, the mixing channels here, plus USB record 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So AFX out 9 goes to USB record 9, AFX out 10 goes to USB record 10. It also goes to mixing channel 1 and 2. And then you have 11, so forth, and so on, and so on, and so on. So these are actually, oh, that's why it's going. It's got 2 going. That's interesting. I had it misrouted. So then here on Pro Tools we have in 24 for the kick, which is the preamp input, and then you have in. Now it's doing that again. In 9 going to the kick-in effects right here. So let's solo the kick-in. These are not really, we didn't set the preamp levels and all that. It's just very basic setup. So this is the kick with no effects. And this is the kick with effects. You can hear it's pretty much obliterated. I obliterated it with the effects, the EQ. You can hear the same with the snare. This is the plain snare. No gate is applied, so you hear all the bleed. We're going to go through that later on. And then this is the snare. Oh, that's a kick out. Then we have snare top. That's a snare top with no effects, nothing. This is the snare. You can hear a big difference, and so forth. So we didn't do any of the settings on the effects. We didn't apply the gates, which is very important. The gate is very important to prevent the bleeding of all the drums. So we basically have 8 channels that have dry signal and 8 channels that have wet signal. And that's great because if you make mistakes on the wet, you have the dry as a backup, which is a phenomenal thing. So you can actually tweak things. You can use the plugins that you have in Pro Tools for the dry signal. You can even use the Pro Tools plugins for the wet signal as well if you want to add a reverb or whatever. So that's that. I hope that you found that useful. I was struggling with that, watching the Orion videos. It's very challenging to watch those and figure things out. So that's one thing that we figured out, and we're going to be tweaking the EQ and the compression and the gate right now for the next video. Okay, so we're going to set the levels on the preamp and work on that with the Pro Tools. So let me just get the Pro Tools session going. One moment. You can hold the Alt key down with the record button to enable all of them. And you can see here, you want to get the sweet spot. Charlie, can you just start playing just the snare, each one by itself? Start with the snare right now. You don't want it to clip. Alright, try the kick. Alright, try the cymbals. I'm going to add silk to that. Alright, try the whole kit. High pass filter on it. Get some of the mud out. My talkback mic. Show that. Okay, so something just went doo-doo-doo. I don't know what that was. So we set the levels. I guess the mouse went out, and we're all set. So we had clipping on certain things. I'm going to take all the clips off. All the clips are off. You hold the Alt key down and you click on the clip, and it takes them all out. So let's play hard. Play like normally. Not hard, but play the way you were. Still clipping. So I have to get that done. Keep on playing. Okay, you can stop. So we have a list here. You can see it here. Well, you can't see it because it's getting taken out by the virtual green screen. But the list is, we sorted out the Pro Tools inputs and the FX inputs. We had a little snafu there. and we had them mapped wrong. So it's good to write on a piece of paper the corresponding Pro Tools dry input and the FX wet input. So we have we have actually 16 channels being recorded at once, and it's pretty cool. So that's all sorted out. And now, meet the interns!
What's up? I'm Damian Vasquez, and I'm an intern here at NJ Sound. We like to get a little crazy in this studio.
Hi, I'm Destiny. I'm a singer, a musician, and interning at NJ Sound.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm also a musician and intern at NJ Sound.